Macau approving Anktiva based on the US Food and Drug Administration and the European Medicine Agency approvals demonstrates validation from trusted regulators. It carries weight and is an indication to other regulators in these other territories that the Anktiva treatment has already cleared top-tier standards. And it also means that Anktiva will have real-world use cases in Asia. It also helps ImmunityBio get the ball rolling with having kind of basic infrastructure in the Asia territory in Macau or thereabouts. They'll need to start engaging physicians, they'll need to start developing distribution routes and strategic partnerships to develop this infrastructure and this presence in Asia too. And with that in mind, what does it do? It helps to kind of reduce the friction when they do want to start entering new territories in that region as well, because they've already set up this basic infrastructure. This would help to strengthen ImmunityBio's position in the continent with view of a possible expansion into markets like Hong Kong, Singapore, and potentially other Southeast Asian countries where there's potentially a lower barrier of entry. And gradually over time, with more and more presence in these lower barrier countries where they can get Anktiva into markets very quickly. They develop their presence in the continent, they have the basic infrastructure. They may then look to more complex markets like Japan, like South Korea and China. And when entering these kinds of markets, they're a lot more challenging. There are greater regulations and requirements. It means that ImmunityBio won't be starting from zero. You know, that like I was saying, they already have this presence, they already have partnerships. When looking at some of the more major markets like China, like Japan, like South Korea and even Australia, they're far more regulated. They may require more data. They may even be required to run certain trials in these nations too, to really demonstrate the effectiveness and the safety of the Anktiva treatment. Naturally, these things all come at a cost, and so the approach that they're using, going into these low barrier countries, taking things very slowly and building these gradual business foundations is exactly the right way to go about these things, simply because, you know, it gets Anktiva into these countries that are low barrier of entry so that they can develop this presence in Asia. And this is why management have said there is still meaningful work ahead and have stressed the need to focus on executing this expansion in a disciplined manner. And so with this in mind, execution over the next 12 months to 24 months is absolutely critical. But the real takeaway from the announcement of approval in Macau is that ImmunityBio is taking the first steps in this global repeatable expansion strategy, where from the sounds of what they're saying in this press release, they're going to be targeting smaller territories where they can leverage the approvals of the FDA and the European Medicines Agency in order to get the presence of Anktiva across these countries, across these territories very quickly, targeting the larger, more challenging countries like China, like Japan, and like South Korea once they've developed this infrastructure and presence in these smaller territories first. Using early approvals in smaller or low friction markets to build regulatory credibility, operational experience, and a foundation for entry into the larger, more complex markets across the Asia Pacific region. And so naturally, I'll keep you updated with ImmunityBio and all the other stocks that I follow in this channel. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.